Hey there, superstars. It is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer, and coach from Live, Love, Give. And I'm coming to you today with a bit of a tricky one that I want to dive into with you guys. Might be a little bit controversial for a bunch of you, but I'm all about testing your mind's capacity to find value even in the things that you don't necessarily agree with, all right? So my hope is that you keep an open mind with today's message so that you can glean the value from what I'm going to be talking into. And if it does trigger you a little bit, that's actually a good thing. It's good to be triggered. It's good to notice what things kind of throw us off and go, what are you talking about? Because ultimately it can shine light on some areas where we've got a little bit of work to do. And that's always a good thing because we're always going to grow, right? So today's message is a relationship one. And I want to talk to you guys about monogamy or polygamy and what's your choice. And what I really want to get to is how it's, it's the reason behind your choice that actually truly matters. And I want to share with you, what I've been going through today in terms of some learning that I've been doing. So you guys who've been following me for a while now know that I'm a monogamous person, but I oftentimes study the mindset of people in open relationships or people who are in polygamous relationships. And the reason why I do this is because I'm really fascinated about what works for different people. Why it is that, one frame of doing something can work for this set of people, but maybe not necessarily for another. And if it's working in one area with a group of people, then there's something of value there, and I want to find out what it is. And there is a term that is used by people in open relationships, which is a word that I've mentioned to you guys before, which is the word compersion. And compersion isn't actually even in the dictionary. It's a word that has been created from this different group of people. And what it really means is it actually put language to one of my favorite things in the world, my most inspiring things to do in the world, which is to watch another person feel loved by another. So watch a stranger love another stranger. There is nothing better in my mind than to see people who, to watch the connection that other people can have. And that's really what compersion is all about. Now, in the context of open relationships, they might be using it in terms of their partner being in love or being physical or intimate with another person, which is that's next level. But the basis of compersion is to be able to be happy for somebody that you love to be loved by another person, right? I love that. Anyway, I've been listening to and following along the journey for many years now, probably for the past 3 or so years, with Aubrey Marcus and his partner, Whitney Miller, I think her name is. Oh, nearly forgot it for a second there. But they have been really instrumental in getting the message out about what an open relationship is and using their relationship, sharing it very openly, and about what works, what doesn't work, all those sorts of things. And it's been fascinating to kind of follow along on that journey, particularly for me, who is a relationship junkie in terms of learning about all the ins and outs about how to create successful, extraordinary, juicy, beautiful relationships that are truly fulfilling. And I'm always trying to learn from different people and get kind of go to war with this topic of relationship and not just stay stuck in one particular mindset. And so I've been following their journey, and I knew that, they spent actually the first 2 years of their relationship in a monogamous relationship, which ended up just not working out for them. And they got to a point where they decided to test out being in an open relationship, and they had that last for another 5 years. Now, they were together for 7 years, and just in the last few months, they ended up parting ways. And I was really interested to, because I've been following along their journey and they've been so open with it, I was like, okay, well, what's worked for them? Why did it end up breaking up after everything that I followed from them? And I finally got some time to myself to listen to this episode where they talk openly about the breakdown of their relationship. And wow, like I'm going to share the link with you guys after I get off so that you guys can check it out as well. But it was so fascinating for me to listen to their real open, authentic, raw experience about why it broke down. And, you know, they were in tears about it, but also in a state of gratitude and appreciation for where they've got to and knowing that it was the right thing for them to do, right? And so I followed this journey, and it sparked some triggers for myself, because definitely I am a monogamous person, and that's how I've deemed extraordinary relationships, but I'm totally open to other people having their experiences with whatever works for them. I don't think that we can, as individuals, put a label on and put a judgment on other people about what their choices are in relationships, as long as it's not hurting anybody and as long as that's working out for them. Then we don't get that judgment, right? And we're all different. We've got different things that work for different people. So personally, monogamous, but listening to this podcast today got me really thinking. And what it got me thinking about was the reason behind my choice. The last thing that I want in a relationship is to make a choice based on fear, based on my own fears and insecurities. And it got me actually questioning, am I choosing to be a monogamous person because I have so many fears and insecurities about whether my partner would sleep with another person or be with another person or want to be with another person, and what I'd make that mean personally about me, right? Or am I choosing monogamy because that's coming from a strong, loving place, that's the standard that I want to have in my relationship. That's what feels right to me, not because of my own fears and insecurities about what it'd mean about me personally if my partner wanted to be with somebody else, or if I was so worried and concerned about how that would affect my partner if I wanted to be with somebody else, but that's what I was truly wanting. Both of those are fear-driven, right? And so it really got me thinking about this, because we so easily follow the trend. We so easily follow what society says, right? The whole of our society is laid out to have monogamous relationships, get married, right? But there's a lot of problems in our relationships, and there's not that many role model monogamous relationships out there, right? In general, right? This is an area that is so challenging to get right. And what it got me to was I just got more clarity over my perception of what an extraordinary relationship is. And it's not that it has to be monogamous or polygamous or whatever it has to be in any other realm, right? But what really is the key is the choice that you make about the kind of relationship you want. You don't want that coming from your own fears and insecurities. If it is limiting you because you want something different to what you're saying, and so you're, instead of actually speaking up and voicing what that is that you want, you're stuck in too many fears, too many judgments, too much shame, so you're not truthful about what you want. Or on the flip side of that, if you're choosing a monogamous relationship purely because, like I couldn't even handle my partner if that's what they wanted to do. I don't want a part of that, because that would draw up all of my insecurities, all of my fears, right? If they're the reasons why you're the baseline foundation of why you choose to be in a monogamous relationship, like, I don't know about you, but like that sounds like the basis of the relationship is driven by fear. And that's the opposite to what I want. And now I've been through a few different long-term relationships at this stage in my life. And I've reached a point in my life where I don't want to just fall into relationship like I have in the past. And I'm not saying those relationships were bad, because they were all brilliant and great for their own reasons, right? And I got a lot of value, and I'm totally grateful. I have zero regrets for the relationships that I've experienced, and immense gratitude for the people that I've been in relationship with and how much they've impacted me and my growth and my direction in my life. So no problem with that. But what I don't want is to get into another intimate long-term relationship and be in it for another 4 or 5 years like I have in the past, and then for it to end, right? I feel like I've reached a point in my life where I'm like, the relationship that I choose to be in at this point in my life is the one that I just want for life right now. That's what I've gotten to. But I had to take a step back today and really question myself about the type of relationship that I want. And by listening to these people who've navigated open relationship, I was able to, not that I get to a point where I know that I don't want an open relationship, I want a monogamous relationship, but am I making that choice from a place of strength, or is it coming from insecurity, fear, and just following the crowd? And I have pretty much spent the entire day unpacking this for myself, and I've really got to a place of clarity within myself. And I was kind of looking at, Aubrey Marcus and his ex-partner now, Whitney Miller, their perspective on relationship. And I was, really taking a look also at a perspective from Jordan Peterson, who is another brilliant person that you should definitely be following. And I love what he says about relationship. And I was comparing and contrasting these two perspectives and ideas and taking the value from them and kind of merging them into new clarity over what I want in relationship. And what I took from Jordan Peterson was this brilliant perspective that I heard from him. He's a big believer in marriage, right? And personally, just to share with you guys, marriage hasn't really been something that I've ever been like, oh, I can't wait to get married and I can't wait to this and that. And, it just hasn't really been that draw card, which I know it is for a lot of women. Definitely, right? But it's never been that top of mind for me. But when I heard him talk into this, Jordan Peterson talk into the concept of marriage, it actually sparked my interest. And I was like, now that I can get behind, right? And so what he said was that until you're able to be completely and utterly committed to another individual, to say, you know what, I'm in this for the long haul, I'm not going anywhere. Show me your greatness, show me your darkness, I'm going to be with you. We're going to navigate this together, and I'm totally committed, I'm not going anywhere. Jordan Peterson says that until you get to that point of commitment in your relationship, you're never going to really have a loving, caring relationship in which you can fully be open to all of who you are, right? Because you're always in fear. This person could leave me. I need to show just my good sides. I have to hold this back and I have to withhold this and all this sort of stuff, where we can't actually build that trust until he says you get to that level of total and utter commitment. I'm with you for the long haul, right? And I've always, that really rung true for me, because I think it's so true, to have a partner on your team for life where you've just totally committed to each other, no matter, the good, the bad, the ugly, the ups, the downs, everything, to know somebody's got your back, no matter what. That entire journey will give you the freedom to actually be all of who you are, and, allow that other person in to help you navigate that darkness and those less than proud moments, and for you to do the same for the other and expect and demand greatness from one another and grow to something extraordinary, right? I really loved that perspective, but I had to question whether it was coming from a place of my own fears and insecurities about not wanting to deal with a partner who might want to, express their love with some other human being, because of what meanings I'd make about myself personally, right? I don't ever want to limit another human being, and I don't want to be limited by anybody else's fears and insecurities. But what I do want to create, and what I hope this is just sparking some interest and sparking some introspection for you guys, is something that is based on truth and not fear, but love, right? I want to create a relationship in which we enhance each other's lives, right? Where we never let our fears and insecurities limit one another. And if stuff does come up and it does feel scary and limiting and fear-driven, and it triggers us, we need to be able to navigate that. But I never want to choose a relationship based on my own fears and insecurities and limit another person because of my own fears and insecurities. And if you have a higher standard for yourself in that regard, where you want to make sure that you're enhancing somebody else's life, you're not draining it, you're not limiting them, you're not restricting them in any other way, but you together as a couple can come together and have that ability to, take the perspective of maybe those open relationships, which is, I don't want to limit you. I want you to be able to do whatever you want to do as a human being that's healthy for you, right? I want to be somebody who comes into your life and enhances your life. It's not like an imprisonment, right? And I think that if we have the perspective of that, wanting to enhance another's life, wanting to enhance each other's lives, and we don't want to limit based on our own fears and insecurities. And when our own fears and insecurities come up, we want a safe container to be able to know that we're on a team here, that we can navigate this together because we share that same common interest of creating an extraordinary team in which we can take life way further, our results, our fulfillment, our experience way further than we could ever if we were navigating it alone or in an isolated relationship where we felt like we just couldn't be ourselves. We couldn't fully show up as ourselves because we were so frightened about that person leaving us, right? So I know I'm throwing a lot at you guys, and there's just so much that I've been diving into today, but I just wanted to share this perspective in the hope that it will just get you thinking about the choices that you are making and what's driving those choices. I, not so long ago, had an experience where somebody that was close to me in navigating the early stages of a relationship actually did something that my past self would have run a mile because of, right? My past self would have just never seen this person again. And what happened for me was I was actually presented with an opportunity to see how far I as an individual had grown. Now, my past self would have taken what this person did totally personally. I would have made it all about myself. I would have made it about how I wasn't good enough, right? But when confronted with the actual situation that had never happened to me before, I actually felt empowered, and I could actually see the behavior that had taken place as having nothing to do with me personally and everything to do with this other person going through their own fears, trying to feed their ego because they were feeling super depleted and not good about themselves, all right? And so that is the level of understanding that we want to reach in our relationships so that we're not judging other people for their behaviors. We can see through that, and we're not letting our fears and insecurities limit other people that prevent us from actually showing up and being able to support that person and be on the same team as them. Now, I'm a big believer in always questioning behavior. Don't let people treat you like crap, right? And make sure that you have high standards as to how you want to be treated and what the standards are of your relationship. And you have to be the leader of that based on your relationship with yourself. And it's only when you can question behavior and you can look through and beyond behavior and you can see what's going on for another human being. Because if, at the end of the day, everything everybody does is either coming from love and strength or fear and insecurity, okay? And if you can know that and if you can understand that, then you can actually create an extraordinary connection with somebody else that doesn't judge somebody based on their behavior, but actually looks beyond it, looks through it, and can actually support somebody based on where they're actually at, all right? Because nobody's out there, unless they're a complete psychopath, and that's not who we're talking to right here. We're talking about everyday you and me, people who are looking to grow, looking to expand, looking to reach our highest potentials, and just do our absolute best in the best way possible. When we are those people, we can ultimately get to a place where we can see through behavior, trust intent, and actually support a person and know that they're not out to get us. And when they're not operating from love and strength, they're absolutely operating from fear and insecurity. And it is our job, if we want to create an extraordinary connection with somebody, to be able to see through that and help build another person's self-esteem so that they can be making their choices from love and strength rather than that fear and insecurity. All right, so I've gone on many different tangents around my favorite topic today, but I'm really hoping that this has definitely got you thinking. I would absolutely love to hear your words of wisdom or your thoughts around this topic, and if it has been a bit controversial or triggering for you, that's great, because I love it when if things trigger me, right? I've had a few experiences happen for me recently on the cruise, I'll talk about another day, that definitely triggered me and got me acting in a way that, or just thinking and judging in a way that I was like, ugh, I feel really judgmental here and I don't want to feel this. But it triggered me and I actually was able to do a lot of work on it, and it actually was a lot of value to me. So never shy away from the things that trigger you. I kind of in a way hope that some of you might have been a little bit triggered by maybe today's title, talking into monogamy and polygamy. And if it did trigger you, write down why it's triggered you. What is that? What's that fear or insecurity that you need to shine some light on so that you can actually grow and it actually becomes a gift for you. All right, so anyway, I could talk all day, as you know, so I definitely want to check in with you guys and drop me a comment, say hi, let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. And as I said, any words of wisdom or thoughts on this topic, I'd love to hear from you and connect with you. But who have I got? I've got James in the house and Tim and Marco. Hello to you, my friend. And Parveen and Mully and Judy and Gael. Hello, Vanessa. Ugh, I can't watch it now, but I'd love to know what you have to share about it. I'm not triggered by this topic. Love that, Gail. And I can't wait to hear your perspective when you get back and you can check out today's message. Thanks for tuning in to let me know. And Savula's here as well, and Filippo and Kieran and Scott and DB. Awesome. And Fatjon and hello to you, DB. Always great to see you. And Scott, one is enough for me. I'm with you on that. This is the other thing. We can look at, so a lot of people who go into open relationship, and I know this is very true for Aubrey Marcus and Whitney Miller, they went into open relationship as a way of expanding themselves, not thinking it was going to be easier to have multiple relationships, but actually to grow themselves, to actually be confronted with their biggest fears and insecurities based on having their partner be in love with another person or intimate with another person. And they used it as a massive growth journey. I can see it work out different ways, and I think that neither is more of a growth journey than the other. There's different perspectives and different reasons why we do anything that we do. Personally, I'm with you, Scott. I really like the idea and the, even though, I think it's one of the most challenging areas of our lives, it's definitely the greatest vehicle for our personal development to enter into intimate relationship. And I'm all about creating the extraordinary with that one special individual. That's my personal perspective. Like I said, open to other people having all of their different experiences. We're all different. Different things work for different people. The idea is get clear on what's good for you and what you need and what you want, and find a partner who shares that common vision. So there's alignment with that. And ultimately, I like to think about our energy as being, particularly our sexual energy, right? Like it's limited, right? If I express my energy over here, it's going to limit my ability over here, right? There's the cost of opportunity cost, right? Oh, taking myself back to business school. All right, so opportunity cost, right? If I'm expressing my energy over here, it's automatically not going to be over here, right? So I like the perspective of channeling my energy towards a special individual that I've chosen, they've chosen me, and we can create and magnify something super extraordinary, co-create something magnificent that we might not be able to do if we were dispersing our energy in multiple different directions. But there's all so many different perspectives, and I can see how it could absolutely work the other way, with the challenge that would come with, spreading your energy in multiple directions. So Love it, Scott. And Fat John, loving that this is resonating with you. And Sunula's here, and Kaden, yay, and Stuart, and Alexandra, Jane, and Jody, and Bina. Great to see you back, Bina. And Jeannie's here, and Phil, and Vicky, and Chulapong. Great to see you back. And Jules from Thailand. Oh, beautiful. I lived in Thailand for a few months in Koh Samui. So it's a beautiful part of the world. Hope to get back again soon. And Carly's here, and Erin, and Alex, and Tristan, and Angel, and Tracy, and Katie, and Chulong. Great words of wisdom for today. Thanks. You're so welcome, my friend. Great that these were some words of wisdom for you. Maybe got you thinking. And Brom's here as well. And Kay and Kaden. Yay. Oh, I like it. Big one. Great to see you, Ness. This is such a badass subject because our deepest paradigms are worth challenging. I think so too. I love this. I think this is a preference that could be explored by experience in order to make sure we've faced our fears and given any curiosities a fair shot. Some things we try and let go of, while others we may end up so grateful we tried. Much like how I got started in music. I was curious, the opportunity presented itself, but I was 50-50. On the fence about starting, and now I can't imagine myself without making music. We never know without at least a sample, excluding drugs. Don't even sample those. I love your perspective there, Kaden, and I tend to have the same perspective. I like to say I'll try anything once, but I'm not sure if I'll do it again, right? So I think it's a good perspective to have. Be open-minded, and I don't believe that we should really have an opinion over anything that we haven't personally experienced. So keep an open mind. There's always gray area, and just know what works for you and what's right for you isn't necessarily what's going to work and what's going to be right for the next person. So we need to hold space for us all to be the individuals that we are. We don't want other people dictating the terms and conditions of our lives, and we shouldn't be doing that for other people either. So I love that, Kaden, and I'm so grateful that you went over to the 50% to take that action towards your music, because I love your music. I was just listening to you a couple of days ago, actually. You're on my while I was on the ship, you were part of my downloaded music. So I was like, oh, Kaden's on my phone. I loved it. So thank you so much, my friend, for being here, showing up and sharing your perspective. You are always so appreciated, and I love that. And Sunita's here as well, and Kaden. Some things only work with exceptional levels of both openness and emotional intelligence. Absolutely. And sometimes we need to develop our openness and our emotional intelligence while we're in the experience as well. You know, we can't just analyze things. We can't just learn about the theory. Sometimes we do have to experience them, like you're saying, Kaden. So I love that. And Katie, hello to you. And John, hello. And Alex and Minoj, hello to you. And Mark is here as well. So guys, that really is my message for you. I hope it just gets you thinking. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong. Whatever works for you in terms of whether that is monogamy or polygamy or whatever the hell you want to choose and label it and whatever. But what really makes the difference is the reason behind your choice. Make sure that everything that you choose in your life, particularly those big things that you don't even question, that go without saying, that society dictates to us, make sure that you take some introspective time and you question. Now, what is the basis for the decisions that I make in this realm? Why do I choose this? Is this coming from fear and insecurity, or love and strength? There's a massive difference. It's always going to be coming from one side or the other. So, you know, really take the time to know why you do what you do in your life, because the last thing you want, and I'm talking in terms of relationship here, is getting into a relationship where you've both chosen something out of fear and insecurity rather than love and strength. Because I tell you what, whether or not you stay together, at the end of the day, there's going to be a point where you realize, whoa, like this is being driven by fear and insecurity, not love and strength. And if you get to that point where one or both of you, cease to be in the relationship either physically or emotionally, that's not a quality relationship. Don't settle in this area. In fact, don't settle in any area. But when we're talking about relationship, too many people settle, and the reason why they do is out of fear and insecurity. So make sure that you get clear on what you want and have have the courage and the confidence to come out and show up with love and strength, not fear and insecurity, and anything that limits you or another person is not what you want, right? Make a choice about what you want and find a partner who aligns with that and shares that from a great place, and I promise you, you guys will go the mile, absolutely. All right, so last little things here. Elsony has just joined, and Sunita, perfect words of wisdom and sharing, beautiful. Thank you. You're so welcome, beautiful. Great to have you, and I'm grateful to hear this. And Mark's here as well, and Namia and Kaden. Yay. Yay. I'm so glad you enjoyed those songs. Thank you for another great message. Limitless love for you from Houston. Keep leading the way on internal exploration. I love that, my friend, and thank you so much. Yes, love your music. Can't wait for everything that's coming out for you next. Limitless love, right back at you, all the way from here in Melbourne, Australia. And I'll definitely keep doing the internal exploration and sharing all of that with you guys. I know that you get that so well, Kaden, and Cass is in the house as well. I love it. So I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys who has been able to join me live. If I can speak properly, it's getting a bit late here. And I really hope that today's message has served you, got you thinking about the reasons behind your choices, and in particular, relationship. Don't just get swept up with what you think you should do and feel overwhelmed with shame and obligation. Actually get clear on what you want and make sure that you're coming from love and strength, not fear and insecurity. Hope today's message has served you, and as always, guys, I'm sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I really do hope that it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary, that you're doing something super empowering, and today's message has definitely served you. If this message has been valuable, if it got you triggered and got you thinking, then please do share it with anybody you feel would get value from it. That is such a great gift from you to me. I really appreciate it so much. And for any of you guys who aren't in the masterclasses, I have got some rocking masterclasses coming up. We're actually going to be doing something a little bit different because I just want to go so deep in this topic with you guys. But usually we run a masterclass once a month. So I get on a live video. I do a webinar sort of presentation on video with you guys. I get to Q&A, get to connect with you, make it really interactive, and teach you something awesome around personal development that you can apply to your life and take action on. And this month's topic, I'm breaking into 3 parts, and I'm going to be doing those parts on a weekly to bi-weekly basis because it's just too juicy and there's so much value in it, and I want to work with you guys to break through in this realm and get the deepest level of self-awareness and self-growth that you possibly can using the tool of the Enneagram. Amazing stuff. I'm going to be diving into the wisdom and the tradition of it, and then I'm going to be breaking it down into the scientific application into your life so that you can break through to your next level. And it's not for the faint-hearted. This is stuff that really does shine light on the blind spots, on your patterns that really are built from the time that you were a child, and it's kind of sparked by who you thought you needed to be in order to get love, and those patterns of behavior follow on through into our adult existence, and they're so limiting to us. So I'm going to help you to identify your patterns on the individual level and give you the growth path to break through so that you can get on about living your best life and experiencing the greatest and highest quality of your relationships. So if you're not part of the masterclasses and you want to be a part of that action, let me know. I'll send you the link. You can join us. But the first one is happening this coming Monday in Aussie time, or it might be Sunday if you're over in the States or most of the rest of the world. So let me know if that's interesting to you. I'll send you the link. Can't wait to see you guys in there, and all of you guys who are already part of the masterclasses. Get excited. It's all happening. I cannot wait. And hello to Ram and Angel and Alex. Beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary. Much love to you, my friend. So much love for each and every one of you guys. And I cannot wait to see you soon. Much love.